Hey, Scandal Squad. Hey, Scandal Squad. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you. I know it's late. I'm talking about stuff that I know y'all done talked about half of this stuff today, but I'm so glad that you are here with me tonight. And I hope everybody had a good day. It's Monday. It is Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. I be getting my days confused sometimes. Before I get started, did anybody see Sinners, the movie Sinners? I saw it yesterday on Easter. I loved it. Um, and I'm not going to give any spoilers. I don't do spoilers. But did y'all go see Sinners? It was the cinematography was great. It is a horror film. I love the acting. I am not a huge Michael B. Jordan fan, but baby, Michael B. Jordan was looking sexy. Okay, he played. Well, let me be quiet. Anyway, I loved it. I had a great time. The theater was pretty packed. I understand this was the opening weekend. I just love the fact that it was. I love the theme of it, which was vampires. I hope that's not a spoiler for you guys. But anyway, because I had to do the Twilight series. I don't know if you guys remember Twilight back in the day, that series of vampire movies. So it was really nice to see a spin on it with African American people, right? And I know we've had the vampire Brooklyn in New York in that old school, years ago, but I just loved it. I enjoyed it. So I would say it's a 9 out of 10. It's kind of hard to get. I would give it a 10 out of 10, but I'm not a movie buff or a critic like that. So I don't want people saying, oh, she gave it a 10 out of 10 because she don't know cinematography and this and that. No, I don't. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And the other thing was that it was long enough. You know how you go to some movies and you kind of get a little sleepy and but you're relaxing. And we were at the theater where the seats recline, put your feet up and all of that stuff. And it lasted long enough where you could kind of have there weren't any. Well, I'm gonna be honest, it was a little slow in the beginning. I'm gonna say the first half hour just kind of dragged on, but it still gave you enough elements and things to kind of be like, oh, this is cool, I like it, because the period that it was set in. So I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna say thumbs up. Y'all hit the like button if you're just coming in, and thank you. Like I said, thanks again for joining me. We are going to talk about Kanye West. This is crazy. Kanye had been tweeting maybe for the last, I'm going to say 6 weeks. He just been going off, right? He been tweeting, he's this, he's that. He done licked this. His mama was, he just been talking about everybody. And so now he has actually come out and said that he had relations with his cousin. And, I think, so just to kind of frame this and put it in perspective, he has a song coming out and it's called Cousins or something. So he's talking about it. But Kanye being bisexual or gay is nothing new, to be honest. There were rumors about him years ago. Him and Jeffree Star, shout out to Storm Monroe, because he is the person that I saw today talking about it. So shout out to him for inspo. But these rumors have been out about Kanye for a minute. It came out a couple of years ago where somebody was saying that Kim was divorcing him. Well, this is more than a couple of years ago, because he had messed with Jeffree Stars and other. I mean, these are not new rumors or allegations, but maybe he's finally addressing it, right? So TMZ did an article. Kanye West White Lotus, got nothing on me. I had relations with male cousin as a teen. Now, and again, so some people, they're just words on YouTube that we just can't say. So I just can't say incest, but that's how some people are framing it. And a couple of questions I had was like, how old was this cousin? Like, were you the perpetrator? Was this a younger cousin? Like, what's going on here? There's just so much, so many questions, right? And he did bring this to the public, but it's like this. First of all, anything and everything you say in social media can and will be used against you. You are a celebrity. With all of the people that are, all of the lawsuits that are out there in the universe right now, in the metasphere, like, don't you know that this stuff is going to come back to haunt you? It's like, where's his PR team? Where are his people? And I'm not saying that negating what he's talking about or anything like that, but I'm just saying, is this the proper forum to come forth with something like that? He's pretty much implicating himself to some degree in something. I don't know, but I just feel like this is going to definitely backfire, as these things generally do in the media. It's just a lot of questions. But the article goes on to say Kanye is claiming he and a now incarcerated male cousin experimented with each other when they were kids. An experiment he's turned into a new song, but leaving it contributed to both of their dark pasts. And I'm just going to say, as a parent, I don't have no little kids. My kid is grown, right? But I'm just going to say, this is the kind of stuff that, I feel like these celebrities are coming out with all of this stuff when they have a young following, and it should be PG-13 or something. I don't like the fact that this stuff is out there for younger people. They need to be focusing on school and stuff, and not all this sexual activities. It's just too much. It's just too much. So I don't like it. I hope that this song or whatever, given the nature of it from what I'm understanding, and I did listen to it for a minute, I don't like it. I just don't like it. So I didn't even get through the like 20 seconds of the song. But it's just to put stuff out there. This should be maybe an adult album or something. Kanye is just going off the rails, in my opinion. So he tweeted, the song is called Cousins, about my cousin that's locked in. I told him we wouldn't look at dirty mags together anymore. Okay. This sounds like the mind of a delusional, psychotic, just crazy person. Perhaps and a person who should be on somebody's couch talking to a clinician or a therapist, but not the internet. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the fact that he has a lot of young fans. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty mags when he was 6, and then we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different. So I haven't seen it, but I'm hearing that he said that his mom may have been into women as well, so maybe it just seemed like everybody is fluid these days. I mean, are there any straight people left? I'm one. I don't know. My name is Ye, and I sucked my cousins till I was 14. So was he younger than you, older than you? Are you guys about the same age? Like, I have questions about that. Debuting a new grungy song called Cousins, Ye opens up about stumbling upon adult mags as a kid, noting the mags he found in his late mother's Donda's possession were of a bi or a gay variety. And just to be honest, I know that Jay-Z came out and said that his mom. I know that Jay-Z, came out and said that his mom was gay, and he shared that and all, stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm not. How are we feeling about this? Like, some stuff. Do we need to know this? Are you doing memoirs? Or are you just getting on? X and just having diarrhea of the mouth? Because that's what it's feeling like. Some of this stuff to me is just too much. What part of it is your mental issue? What part of it is possible usage? It's just too damn much. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm getting too old for this. I don't know. Maybe I need to log off. Maybe it's my problem. Hey, AT2, I'm just checking the chat now because I've been on a rant like Kanye, right? I'm losing my damn self. But hey, shout out to AT2. Thank you for joining. You said this title is crazy. Oh, wait, is it? Hell, I don't forgot what the title says. What did the title say? Kanye, well, that's what he said. I mean, literally, that's what he said. So I'm just paraphrasing him. I'm just, and I know I need to be politically correct, but hell, everybody else say every damn thing. I'm getting to the point where that's what brings y'all in. That's what I'm gonna say. Hell, you want to say it, put it out there. That's what he said. So it says, Ye says he eventually showed the max to his cousin, and they reenacted the male on male kissing scenes, leading Ye to eventually suck his until the age of 14. That's what he said. Paraphrasing Ye. And I'm not surprised. Like I said, in this day and age, everybody's fluid, right? Being gay and all that stuff is no big deal. Maybe 20 years ago or something, in the Tupac era, when I was like rocking Can't See Me Now and all that stuff, it was a big deal. Being gay in hip hop, it was a big deal. At this point, it's not really a big deal, but I think the way Kanye is bringing it forth is like, well, damn, and I think the other shock value about a lot of this stuff is that some of these people for years, I'm going to say were closeted. I don't know if that's the right terminology. Somebody jump in the chat, correct me if I'm saying the wrong thing. But the fact that a lot of people, were coming out as heterosexual. So, and then for them to come out and be like, oh, yeah, I was, in the back, and all of that stuff is just like, whoa, wait, what? None of our business. But I think people kind of connect to their artists and people that they follow, and they kind of want to know things like that about them, does it matter to most of us? No. But when you come out later and disclose that, it kind of takes people aback and to be like, whoa. And then the way Kanye packaged it, I think that was the other, I almost said suck value, but I meant shock value, a Freudian slip, okay? It says the accompanying visual for Cousins spliced together various clips of video games and semi-porno blah blah. Oh, can't even say that word. Images as Ye crooned about giving his cousin. See, and here again, nothing wrong with your bedroom play, but now you gonna lose a lot of people when you singing about giving your cousin, give him a cousin. Come on now, Ye. Seriously, really? I mean, it there's an element of being gay or bi, but then there's also the element of it's your family, which a lot of people are not comfortable with, and you were underage. So what part of this makes him think that it's okay? And people want to buy stuff like this. Like this is a lot, Kanye. I'm sorry. For even his hardcore fans, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be just somewhat turned off. I know there's an audience for this, but for the masses, nah. I'm going and I could be wrong, but I'm gonna say it ain't happening, Kanye. And nobody's gonna want to sing a song about you was doing this with your cousin and you underage. That screams get therapy. Like we need help. That's why so many young people are in the state that they're in, and that's why this music industry is in the effing disarray it's in, because stuff like this, we shouldn't sanction it. You could be gay, you could be bi, you could be whatever, but promoting underage whatever with kids, it's not cool. It shouldn't be in the music, and that should be R-rated. Now that I'm thinking about it, no, it's not even PG. It's for grown-ups. That's grown-up stuff, and kids shouldn't even be exposed to this kind of garbage. They just shouldn't. Period. So both Ye and Kim Kardashian were scanning Ye's cousin's case during their marriage. Okay. So TMZ went on to talk about it, kind of don't want to play TMZ because you never know when you're going to get a copyright stuff. But it says Ye gave him a loving shout out during a 2018 interview with Jimmy Kimmel when asked about Trump's first presidency. He said, "My cousin is locked up for unaliving and I love him. So he did a bad thing, but I still love him." Now, that's the one thing that I understand. We got family members, we got folks we love. They do some ill-ish, but we still love them. It is what it is, So I understand that. Article goes on to say later in 2020, Kim K was helping spearhead the Frederick Douglass Project for Justice and shared Ye's cousin's plight with Georgetown University professor Mark Howard, highlighting how Ye's aunt was forced to accept the consequences from living in their downtrodden Chicago neighborhood. Ye also says he's changing his World War III album title to CUCK, spoken like a true Gemini. And I think that has some kind of a actual undertone. I've heard it before. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little bit of a L7, however you do it. So I know it means something, but I don't know exactly what it means. And then it goes on to say, if you or someone you know has been assaulted, violated, please contact, the hotline. And I'm going to just say it here, 1-800-656-HOPE. So yeah, and I hope this wasn't triggering for some people, but if it was, go get help. So now, like I said, I don't know if you guys remember, again, shout out to Storm Monroe for the inspo. A few years ago, a lot of this stuff came out. It was rumored, y'all know, it was rumored that Kanye had messed with Jeffree Star. So y'all can see Jeffree Star here, right? Okay, yeah, Jeffree's picture showing. So now y'all, Jeffree Star, and so people had questioned him about it. He was kind of coy about it. At one point, he was like, "Hey, well, yeah, well, no, well, I mess with a lot of the celebrities and the NFL players and the jocks and stuff," but he never kind of came forward. He kind of was in and out about it. And y'all know Jeffree Star is huge, right? Cool with the Kardashians, or he used to be. I don't know what he's doing now, but this man, he has had some black, and he liked black men. He's had some black boyfriends. So that kind of came out, and Jeffree Star was kind of on the fence about it. But today, Jeffree Star has come forward and confirmed it. So y'all see it here. Jeffree Star says, "Oh, F it. The rumors were true." Tongue out. As Megan said. Okay. So Jeffree Star is confirming that he has been with Kanye. How do y'all feel about that? I don't know. Like, does it matter if you are a staunch, hardcore Kanye fan? Do you care who he's been? I mean, does it matter? I mean, I don't care because I don't really follow him like that anymore. But I know some people were a little bit shocked, like, what? So let's go back and listen to back in the day when Jeffree Star talked about this. And this is a fair use. This is old material, but I just kind of want to do a quick rewind for those of you that have forgotten and how they try to see. They be lying to us when a lot of this stuff comes out and the attorneys are these are false allegations. No, they're not. A lot of it is true, and they just try to keep it muffled. But let's listen. Here we go, you guys.
...2021, and I was about to show you a lot of adventures of what's been going on in my life, but we have to address something because I woke up today and I was like, huh? I guess allegedly Jeffree Star has been sleeping with Kanye West, and that's why they're getting a divorce. Goodbye. So Chris here just flew in to the beautiful state of Wyoming, and some interesting things happened this morning. Let's roll. Chris, do you even know what's going on this morning?
No, I just got told to come over.
I woke up and my phone was blowing up, and I'm like, oh my god, what in the scandal is going on today? I honestly had no idea, right? I'm keeping it to myself. I'm living in this.
Oh, he looks really different without makeup. I was like, who is this? Who is this guy right here? But that's him.
Beautiful state. I'm loving life, and I'm just ready for 2021 and all the new shit that I'm about to drop. Hi, and I get a million texts today, phone calls, news outlets. Can I read you this?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go inside. It is 10 degrees. So I'm scrolling on the internet, and I read the dumbest shit I think I've ever read my entire life. Come on.
Now, y'all listen to this. Do you see well, I'm not going to say he's deflecting. He's just flat out lying about it. Oh, I read the dumbest ish. But you turn around a few years later and admit that it was all true. You cannot believe half of the stuff you hear in the media. You just can't.
Okay. Hey, y'all.
It's a crazy morning.
It's an interesting morning. We were just about to do glam. Hair by Jay just landed from LA. He brought so many wigs. But this is what's happening today. Why is Jeffree Lynn number 3 trending? I woke up out of bed, Chris, and I'm like, huh? And the headline reads, Kanye West might be sleeping with Jeffree Star. I can't. And then I'm like, how do we even get to this moment? Like, how would that even be made up? Because we both live in the same state, right? Whatever. So I guess some girl made up a whole lie on TikTok, and it went viral, where she insinuates Kanye and Kim are getting divorced because big.
So see, that right there is not even a lie. I mean, he's come back and admitted that was actually the truth, right? And I just remember when all of this stuff came out. I don't know if you guys remember, but then he went on to admit that he sleeps with NBA players. So let me play this one for you.
A YouTube sensation and creating his content empire and brand, Jeffree Star went on to found his very own cosmetics line called Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and it is reported that Jeffree Star Cosmetics is currently valued at an estimated $1.5 billion. Jeffree Star has revealed he's had relationships with NBA players, but who are they? Let's dive into this and more. When Star revealed that he had relationships with NBA players and rappers, his followers had their minds blown and were absolutely dying to know who they were. So who are they? Star has said publicly that many NBA players and rappers reach out to me, yes, but I have a code where I never get out of them, and many of them threaten to murder me if I ever say their names. So sex is amazing, but the names aren't.
So you guys remember how Soulja Boy and a lot of these rappers, where these trans women come forward and be telling us that, oh, you know, they weren't in my DMs. So this confirms to me, I'm not saying that everybody's telling the truth, but a lot of times they are not lying. I don't think they should come out and, you know, out people, but they be telling the truth.
Invisible. There's only 2 people that we know of for certain that Star is dated, and that's Nathan Schwant and pro basketballer Andre Marholt, who plays for a pro team in Germany. Understandably, the threats of death from those who Star has been with have kept the YouTube and cosmetic celebrity quiet about who he's involved with. Star dated Schwant for nearly 5 years and truly thought that they would be together forever. Star has opened up, saying Schwant was the only man who was confident enough to love me publicly, to love me for me fully. Star initially claimed that despite their breakup, the 2 remained close friends. However, the relationship has reportedly soured. In a YouTube video, Star spoke to his millions of fans and said, when you do so much for someone and then later they do something really effing dark to you, or they just get really nasty, you gotta wonder who.
Okay, so that's the proof right there. I mean, so, you know, again, Jeffree Star has come out and confirmed what Kanye has said about them having relationships previously. And so at this point, anybody that comes forward and says that they done mess with Kanye from the past, I would believe it. And a lot of times I just go back and I look on Lipstick Alley, and they give you all the tea, the old tea and the new tea, right? So that's that. Now let's jump to Shannon Sharpe. Everybody's talking about Shannon Sharpe. I know everybody's been talking about this all day. And let me just say this one thing about what Kanye said. So a lot of times we talk about, when we look at celebrities, because I know Damon was it Damon Wayans? It was the one of the Wayans brothers, the oldest one, and he had come out and was saying that he started dating, maybe he even married the woman, I forget, his nephew or cousin's girlfriend, and people were saying, and then also there was something about the celebrity men, like like um Offset sleeping allegedly with Ari, and you know Cardi, and it's just how all of these people, it seems to be a small pool of women that these celebrities fool with, right? And so now I understand, and I know it was another YouTuber who was talking about it, and it makes sense. A lot of times, just like you saw Jeffree Star saying that he did actually mess with Kanye, but he kept it under wraps. A lot of times they mess with the same IG models or the same small circle of women, because those women who are acclimated to that lifestyle, they don't tell. They know in order to get their money or get their bag, it is what it is. We gonna screw. This is how I make my money. So they're not outing anybody, right? And so that goes to what we're talking about with Shannon Sharpe. Now, I don't know if the allegations against him are true, and I have mixed emotions. And I want to clarify something. I did a video earlier today, and I said, Michelle, that was the woman that was that who had lodged this lawsuit against him. It is not. I've learned, because I was hearing different reports that it was her, then later it wasn't, but apparently it's not. Because I've read some updated information this afternoon. So she is not the woman. And then I remember some other reports, just based on memory, that the woman that he allegedly was knocking down, clapping cheeks with, back when we heard the Mattel, move it right there, Mattel. She was, I believe, like allegedly 40. And it was somebody he had been dealing with previously. And this young lady in the current case, allegedly, this is all allegations, speculations, gossip. We don't know because we weren't there. She's like in her 20s. And that brings me to this. What the hell do, man, aren't you on, I'm sure you got to take some, and you little girl, you 20, what the hell you want with this man other than for a check? And it's like, what is going on? I don't care. Some of these chicks just don't want to get a job, so they'll lay down with anything and get tossed up and treated like anything. So I'm going to say, when I first heard about this, my first inclination was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I mean, I initially was like, it could be. And I was thinking about Cat Williams when he said, every big deviant, what is going to be exposed. So I was like, oh, okay. They don't, this is what's going down. But then when I got into the story and I see, oh, it's Tony Busby that fought the suit, that gave me reason for pause, because we know what Tony Busby's history has been. Jay-Z called him an ambulance chaser. Tony Busby is also representing the young lady that is suing Andrew Tate, which that case I do believe is legitimate, because she was able to provide some, pictures of where he kind of roughed her up a little bit. But what I'm seeing is that a lot of these IG models that are filing these suits, y'all are going for money and you're not going for charges. So, you're not pressing criminal charges. You didn't go to the police station. Like, so what the hell were you doing? You know what I'm saying? And so to me, some of these cases are just kind of bogus. Like, I don't know. Are you just trying to get a bag because you didn't get the money you wanted and you was with this man for all these years? And I know a lot of women are using Cassie as the example, but Cassie was with that man for 10 years. And I still don't think Cassie was totally innocent in everything that she dealt with. I just don't. But these new women coming forward and trying to use the Me Too. No, you Me Too, I want the bag. You want those Birkins. You want those, what we have found out to be those Chinese, the bags made in China, the Italian fake folk bags. That's what you want. Because if you really felt violated and all of this stuff, I mean, And of course, everybody's different, so we can't speak for other people. You wouldn't be going up there just, just I want some money. I pay me for my pain. No, you will want to see this person. I think I would if somebody literally violated me and R word me. You know what the R word is, y'all. Nah, Ian, I don't want. No, I want you to pay because you stole my power. You dominated me. I want to hurt you, and just the pockets just ain't enough. Because if you real about it, you could still probably go and get a civil case after the fact, but you want to press charges. But I think with a lot of these Busby cases, what Busby has been relying on prior to the Jay-Z situation was that most people, if you come at a student and say, we're going to put this information out there about you, you're going to be so humiliated and so embarrassed, you're just going to pay up. And for most people, they don't want this kind of salacious information out there, especially if some of it could be true. So I think that's, how what they call it, catch and KILL. So I think that's how they get a lot of these celebrities. It's like they know they did a little bit too much. It's a little raunchy. I don't want everybody knowing how I like to be pegged and all that stuff. So I'm going to just pay you. But I guess Shannon said, no, sir, no, ma'am. Okay. And there's been a lot of allegations against Shannon Sharpe. Yeah. So it says Shannon Sharpe denies the grape allegation. He calls the lawsuit a shakedown. Now, a lot of us have been saying, oh, well, he was getting ready to ink this big deal for I don't know how many millions, but some millions. And he was about to do this and do that. But just from the perspective of a lawsuit, y'all know, those of you who watch my channel, I was a litigation secretary for years. Lawsuits don't happen overnight. I'm going to say especially with a lawsuit like this, somebody of this magnitude, they had to start prepping for something like this, at least I'm going to say some weeks to a month before. You don't just file and lodge a suit like this overnight, because the liability and I'm thinking of Busby for his, given all the stuff that he's going through, because I see that he's trying to do the same thing he did with the Jay-Z case, where he's filing pro hockey beach and all of that stuff, because he can't even litigate in the jurisdiction that he filed the lawsuit. So he is filing other additional documents. So it's not like they heard that this came out yesterday and then they filed the lawsuit. No, it just doesn't work that way. I mean, no, it doesn't. On a weekend, no, they've had to do some due diligence, or they're supposed to. Now, I mean, these new age attorneys, I don't know what they doing, but y'all know back in the day, it's just not going to happen overnight. The court fees, they had to call the county clerk's office, get the filing fees. They have to understand what is the schedule of what documents have to be filed, proof of service, the timelines, all of this. And those things can take weeks to a month. And especially, I'm really going to say, and if it's a suit that is not in your usual jurisdiction where you argue or litigate, it's going to take even longer, because you know that you got to follow that court's rules. And Busby already showed that he messed that up in the Jay-Z case. So I don't think that this is something that they filed just on the fly. Now, was this person aware of the fact that he was getting ready to do this big deal? Could be. I mean, it was just released to the media, to us, maybe a day or so ago. But people in the know, I mean, she knows him. She may know other people who have, know things about him. I mean, allegedly they dated. So she would have information that we're not privy to. So maybe she knew about this deal. And then if we're looking at it from that angle, that makes sense. But if we're just looking at it to say, oh, they're trying to take him down, we knew about this deal yesterday and now they filed this, I don't think so. And now maybe this woman has been working with people, in a particular camp to bring him down. That's possible. But you don't just file a lawsuit overnight. No, it don't work that way. Anyway, it says Shannon Sharpe is firing back at his accuser, calling BS on her allegations, while sharing some graphic messages he claims that she sent. Okay, y'all, let me adjust my glasses. Okay. Sharing some graphic messages he claims she sent that back his side of the story. Sharpe's attorney, Lanny J. Davis, released the denial of the Hall of Famer's on y'all. I listen. What is the problem? I can't read right now. I don't know what's going on. Okay, let me gather myself. Sharpe's attorney, Lanny J. Davis, released the denial on the Hall of Famer's behalf on Monday afternoon, just hours after Jane Doe said in a lawsuit the ex-football player assaulted her on multiple occasions. I'm just really starting to take issue with these women in these situations, especially after Cassie. And for those of you that are very, very young, we are familiar with these type of lawsuits, because I think one of the first cases I remember was the Mike Tyson case, where Robin Givens came after him. Not Robin Givens, but he married Robin Givens. But another young lady said that she had went to his hotel, and the same thing, And so, in these athletes and players, they kind of set themselves up for stuff like this. It says Davis stated the suit, which was filed by famed lawyer Tony Busby, he is infamous at this point, was nothing more than a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. Okay. He added the woman's claims is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations. Okay. Like I said, my first red flag was the fact that it was Busby. And I guess this is supposed to be some sort of proof to blank. I know you missed this big juicy block, $25,000 for each cheek. Now, from a legal standpoint, these messages may contradict her claims of abuse, because now we kind of get to the point that you may be suing him for a monetary gain. So, it's good that he has these messages. I know in something I read earlier, it said that she mentioned something about he was verbally abusive and mentally abusive. And from what I recall, just on those things alone, verbal abuse and mental abuse are not necessarily actionable. I mean, because verbal, people can curse you out. That's not against the law. If he was calling her a B and a SLUT, and she stuck with it, that's fine. But if he physically, did something to her, then that's different. So when people talk about the mental and physical, and they frame things, attorneys put things in a particular way to make it sound more damning when it's not necessarily. Because I was reading earlier, it said that Shannon Sharpe was demanding that she come to his mansion. Well, if you were someplace safe and a person is telling you to come, is it a demand or a request? Like, you know what I'm saying? So you saying, how did I demand you come? Hey, baby, you better come to my house. I mean, they paint a picture in a particular way. And so he's countering that. Davis attached dozens of messages to his statement that he says were sent by Sharpe's accuser to the former Denver Broncos tight end. Davis claims one text read, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and blank me with it while you're effing." See, I mean, so these things could kind of make it look like they were into role playing. And I don't know about all that actual stuff, the dominatrix and I know some of y'all know that way better than me. So if you know, you could put it in the chat. But her telling him to do this to me, that's just going to make him say, yeah, I smacked us. That's what she liked. She asked me to blah, blah. Wow. So this is going to counter some of the stuff that she was saying. I mean, it just is. Here's another one to blank. You better crave, because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me. Now, see, that kind of stuff I find offensive personally. I know people could say and do what they want to do in the bedroom. This reminds me of that other YouTuber, Murad Merali. Maybe I'm saying his name right or wrong. I don't know. Where he was doing some sex play, and he was also doing, I think it's called race play or something too. I don't like it. And especially when you're talking about, hell, I'm black. I'm African American. So talking about a big black, it just sounds derogatory to me. What she say, after you put a big black baby in me, you raunchy mother. You know what I'm saying, girl? see, this kind of stuff we already know what you was after. I'm sorry. If I were on the jury, I probably couldn't be biased because stuff like this is gonna make me say you was just a hoe. You a hoe. 3 different, cause I told you so. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Girl, bye. You talking about put a big black. I mean, that right there would be enough for me. So she better be careful, or the plaintiff. I mean, the attorney for her representing her. He better make damn sure he gets some unbiased jurors, because that would be offensive, and I find that to be some kind of race play to me. How dare you, mother? What, you know what I'm saying? Which to me, almost, I'm pretty sure she's not black, which I've heard that she wasn't anyway. But I'm just saying that would offend me. I would be offended. I'm straight up. No, I'm not gonna be. I can't be objective because of ish like this. No, I'm not. So yeah, that I wouldn't be good to be a juror on this case. These messages are just a sampling of a broader pattern of graphic sexual communications initiated by the plaintiff. Again, I told you guys I did a video earlier today where I said that it was Mattel, and found out later, and I think I even clarified that towards the end of the video, that based on the reading again, I wasn't sure that it was her. So it is not the woman that he was hitting on IG where we heard him say, Mattel, move it, girl. I mean, that right there is enough to make him look like a damn mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, child. But I've also heard that there are other allegations about him, from other women. I don't know if there are there is another, and maybe more than one lawsuit against him of a sexual nature. So, it's a lot coming out. It says these messages are just a sampling of a broader pattern of graphic communications initiated by the plaintiff. That's going to definitely hurt her case. The evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, language, graphic language and fantasy scenarios explicitly requested by the plaintiff. I mean, if he can prove that, your case is done. Now, we keep seeing these cases where these women are coming out crying, oh, he did this, he did this. When are they going to start? If you're found to be a frivolous case, or, you withdraw and, because it's not a real case, or you were wrong, a wrongful suit, when are there going to be consequences? You know what I'm saying? Because I am pro victim, but I'm also not pro bullshit. Don't come doing that and accusing somebody of something that they didn't do. And if you are doing this, there needs to start being consequences against the, person filing. It just should. Am I wrong? It says from so-and-so to so-and-so, I want you to put a big dog collar around my neck and blank. Okay, so we already talked about that. Doe wrote in her suit she met Sharpe at a Los Angeles area gym in 2023 and began a consensual relationship with him shortly after. She stated he was controlling and verbally abusive. And again, those aren't actionable from what I believe throughout their time together. They're not good things, but what are you going to get? He was verbally abusive. Okay, that's the type of relationship he had. And after that, she said she wanted to end things following his now infamous Instagram live streaming incident. She claims he raped her after that. Okay, so yeah, so as it continued to come out, they're saying that she wanted to break up with him after she heard the Mattel, because now the Jane Doe allegedly has been exposed. I think her name is floating out there in the metaverse somewhere. So I've been hearing Gabriella, and I haven't gone through all the documents too. I've been looking online to look at, various court documents. And I still saw Jane Doe, but I've heard Gabriella. So, so she's not a Jane Doe necessarily anymore. And how embarrassing for your parents or somebody to come out and hear you was talking all this stuff. Like, these women will do anything for $1. In addition to issuing the patent denial of wrongdoing, Sharpe's attorney stated that prior to her filing suit, Doe also secretly recorded Sharpe and edited the video. That's also going to go against her. You know, secretly recording, depending on the state, is it a two-party consent? You recorded me, you didn't tell me, and now you're editing it. Does he have a countersuit? Do you have a countersuit? I don't know. And is now using it in an attempt to shake him down for money. So I would like to think that women and this woman isn't doing that, but the more information that's coming out about her, the particular attorney that's representing her, gives me more reason to pause and believe, I don't know. Is this really a credible case? It's not seeming like it. Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, especially the gross lies of rape, and will not submit to what he sees as an egregious attempt at blackmail. He stands firmly by the truth and is prepared to fight these false claims vigorously in court. He looks forward to vindication through due process and a judgment based on the facts and law. I approve that message. Doe is suing for over $50 million in damages. That's another thing. Mother Ducker. Okay. This is where y'all get unrealistic and how y'all literally lose cases too. Okay. Do you know people have been unalived by major corporations and their families don't even recover $1 million? And this is a consensual back and forth, in and out relationship, and you expect the court to figure out what was consensual and what wasn't, especially based on the evidence that allegedly he has. But you want $50 million. You ain't asked to get this man put behind bars because he's out here raping women. You just want I could deal with what he did to me. Just give me the money, and I'm good. It's not. They need to stop that. It needs to be in tandem. We gonna look at the issues, and also because they know it's a lower bar, the standard that they have to meet for these type of cases. For the civil cases, but just the mere fact that they're asking for Cassie money. Cassie was with this man for 10 years, experienced a whole lot, got video proof, versus you was with this man for a year. I don't know what kind of proof you got, but whatever. But you want $50 million when they have people whose children malpractice cases and kids die and all of this stuff, and they families get $200,000. Come on, y'all. Let's be real. These and she's 20. And Busby knows this. And so when they put out a figure like that, he knows they're not going to get that kind of money. But it does sound like a shakedown and also almost like blackmail. And that's how I see it. And maybe I see things also through a legal lens because I did it. But I don't know if this case has any basis or, merit based or anything. I don't know. But I know that there are new reports coming out that Shannon Sharpe has been in other lawsuits, and he has, but I don't know that they were actual in nature. Let's see. I found something. There was a prior case. There was a case, I think his name was mentioned, with Skip Bayless and some other ESPN people. Let me share this one. Because this is something that came up too. Shannon Sharpe faces new allegations from Michelle Evans. Now, Michelle, again, this could be the woman that we were talking about previously, where he was saying Michelle Mathil, that woman. But this is some old stuff. It says some allegations from Michelle Evans amid fallout from Fox Sports controversies. So this came out earlier this year. Shannon Sharpe, the former co-host of Undisputed and current ESPN personality, is once again in the spotlight for reasons tied to his tenure at Fox Sports. So I don't know if you guys remember this whole situation where his name was brought up. While Sharpe himself has denied wrongdoing in a recent lawsuit involving Fox Sports, new legal allegations have surfaced, painting a troubling picture of his past. In a lawsuit filed by Nushin Faraji, a former Fox Sports hairstylist. Sharpe is not accused of any misconduct, but is mentioned in the allegations against his former co-host Skip Bayless. Farage alleges that Bayless accused of her. Okay, so that case Shannon Sharpe was mentioned in, but then he also um there's a separate lawsuit, and it says, adding to the controversy, Sharpe is now the subject of a separate lawsuit filed by Michelle Evans in the Supreme Court of New York. The allegations are severe, involving claims of gender motivated violence, assault, and other misconduct under the New York City Victims Gender Motivated Violence Act. Key allegations against Sharpe. So this is prior to the one the woman filed yesterday. Gender motivated violence. Evans alleges Sharpe committed acts of physical assault and battery motivated by gender bias. She cites a 2007 incident where Sharpe allegedly berated and assaulted her due to her menstruation, framing the act as misogynistic. Ooh, okay. See, I haven't even read this deep into it. Retaliation and intimidation. Sharpe is accused of using threats and intimidation to silence Evans and deter her from asserting her rights. The lawsuit claims Sharpe conspired with others to harm Evans through unlawful actions. The complaint details incidents of physical harm inflicted by Sharpe in multiple jurisdictions. Wow, it's just a lot. And invasion of privacy and defamation. Evans accuses Sharpe of publicly disclosing private information and using legal processes to cause her emotional and financial harm. So clearly, that was somebody he must have been dealing with. Evans is seeking substantial damages. Okay, so she was asking for $20 million in compensatory damages for physical, emotional, and mental harm. $4 million for financial losses, punitive damages, and injunction against defamatory statements by Sharpe, and coverage of her legal fees. So this is the complaint, a complaint for New York City Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act violation, assault, battery, invasion of privacy, retaliation, intimidation, abuse, all of that. The action arises from acts of gender. We already went through that. The parties are Michelle Evans, a resident of New York at the time, and defendant Shannon Sharpe. He regularly conducts business in New York, so that's why she served him in New York. And again, because you guys know that New York extended the statute of limitation. Something I read, it happened in 2007. And so it's probably a better venue for her to pursue him for her case. Venue is proper in New York County pursuant, as many of the alleged acts occurred there. The lawsuit invokes the vendor discrimination, all that stuff, and argues that Sharpe's actions represent an ongoing pattern of abuse, further exacerbating harm to the plaintiff. So now we see two cases. At that time, it says Sharpe has not yet publicly addressed the new lawsuit. His legal team has not issued a statement, but he's consistently maintained his innocence. So I'm just giving you that as a backdrop to talk about Shannon Sharpe. This is not the first time he's been involved. Now we got his name coming up in 3 lawsuits. The lawsuits involving Sharpe and Fox underscore broader issues of workplace culture, power dynamics, and accountability. So I have watched Shannon Sharpe. I think I watched it. I watched him in Ocho Cinco on his show after that situation came out where he was at Umathel. And I kind of feel like, I don't want to quote it, but I feel like I heard some verbiage of him talking about I was beating up the punani. That's what I remember. And he was like saying, "Oh, I'm embarrassed that this came out, but but still," and then kind of laughing about it, like, "But I was hitting. Yeah, Unc was getting in it." And I feel like he made those comments because there had been rumors that he was gay and that he had been going with his stylist. If y'all remember the little guy that he was going to the NBA games with, right? And so when after that came out and the IG with him, with Mattel, and ooh baby, getting good, y'all. I look, I was just starting to get into this. This is kind of like, ooh yeah, ooh Michelle, right? So because of the rumors that had come out, a lot of people thought that he had staged that, that crazy video that came out, the audio portion of it. And so people felt that he did that to quench the rumors that he was gay. But I mean, it's a lot going on with Shannon. So he's got quite a few instances where he's being called a misogynist, where he's been called bisexual in the closet, where they said that he has been inappropriate towards women, aggressive, all sorts of stuff. But let's shift gears from there and go into an article, because I know y'all remember when Monique was on there. Monique told Shannon, you need to get yourself a nice Michelle or Cheryl or somebody, a nice little chill woman closer to your age. She warned him. Do y'all remember when Monique was on there? She was like, yeah, you get settled down. Because Shannon Sharpe has some quirks. Everybody does. But I believe one was I remember him stating before, you can't do number 2 at his house. I guess you could pee, but the women cannot use the bathroom at his house. I believe they can't spend the night. They got to get up and go. And he has some excuses for why he does stuff like that. It was all very weird. It was cringy. It was like, this man is crazy. I mean, I know you got money, but come on, like, damn, but yeah, so when Monique was on his show, she was saying, well, you need to settle down, get you a nice little black girl. And Monique had asked him, she said, I heard that you don't like black women. And that always kills me when these men is black as tar and I'm brown. So I don't give a damn. Y'all could say whatever. Black, blickety black. Your mama black. You had to have 2 black people had to get together to make you. And then for you to not like, and I get it, everybody has a preference. But when you start like discriminating against your own, that's crazy to me. So if you can discriminate against black women, and I'm not saying you don't have to marry or be with them if that's not what you like, but when you start making disparaging remarks, it's the same thing that white people do. So when the white men get and put their foot up in your ass, then, oh, well, they discriminated against you the same way you discriminate. I don't care. Y'all can say whatever you want to say, but let's call it down the middle. If you're going to sit up here and make comments about your own people, you won't have to be with them, but you don't have to put black women down, because that's what the white men do to you, and you don't like it. So when they do it to y'all, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But Monique had told him to settle down. And she had said, I heard you don't like black women. He was like, but that's crazy. I got black kids, blickety black. And Monique was kind of clowned him. I don't know if y'all remember. Monique kind of gave it to him the way a sister would. She said, yeah, because you blickety black. I almost want to say, she said, your nose is all across your face too. I don't know. I'm just saying. But I know she kind of checked him in a nice way. Like, I know you not talking about what you don't like, because that's what you are, baby. You don't like what you see in the mirror, clearly. Anyway, but let's get into so he does have black kids. I heard his first wife was black. So maybe he's moved into a time in his life where he just prefers Becky's. I don't know. But, I don't know. But let's get into his love life, because I heard the love life is messy. We want to hear about, let me get his messy love life, because they say that he's had a very toxic love life, and this is a fair use. So let me share this link and let's get into this, what they saying about Shannon Sharpe's history.
Shannon Sharpe is one of the great Shannon Sharpe is one of the greatest tight ends to ever lace up a set of cleats. He dedicated his entire life to football and told the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I ate, I drank, I slept, and thought football. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't take vacations. I didn't own a yacht. I didn't have a whole bunch of hobbies other than working out and getting ready for the upcoming season. Country ass. After 14 seasons, 8 Pro Bowls, 62 touchdowns, and 10,060 receiving yards, he retired from the NFL and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2011. Despite his accolades in the league, Shannon has been involved in some tomfoolery off the field. From his volatile relationship.
She said some tomfoolery. I like that. Yes, he has been involved in a lot of tomfoolery, Shannon.
Recklessly spreading his seed, a steamy Instagram live stream that set the internet on fire. That's my Michelle. Y'all messy as hell. And of course, we'll be discussing those allegations. Lord, this is finna be messy, ain't it? Before we jump into this hot, stinking mess, if you ask me to, I just might eat some snacks and keep them in my mouth forever. Don't forget to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment.
Now, I'm going to just say this. If y'all saw that green two-piece he was in, people were saying the way he got out of the car and the way the way his legs were bowed. I don't think that makes you gay. I mean, that's just your physical build. That's just his legs is bent up. He been playing football for years. So, but the outfit was a little tight now. I don't know what's going on with the outfit, but that don't mean you're gay.
Of applewood smoked bacon jerky, blue raspberry licorice, and gummy sour peach rings. Y'all know how I feel about them gummy sour peach rings, honey. To give you some better insight, we have to take you back to June 26, 1968, when Shannon Sharpe was born in Chicago, Illinois. When he was 3 months old, his grandmother, who was already raising 9 children of her own, took a train to Chicago to pick up Shannon, his older brother Sterling, and his sister Libby, so she could raise them in Glenville, Georgia. Shannon told the Denver Post, "In our culture, when the parents are having a tough time, the grandparents take care of the kids." Oh, okay, so mommy issues and daddy issues. Got it. At any given time, close to 14 people lived in the house.
Now, I don't know if you guys remember this either. Shannon Sharpe shared the fact that up until he may have gone to college, he used to use they used the bathroom outside. Like they had an outhouse, like they showered outside. Like he comes from humble beginnings. Is there something lower than humble?
His grandmother always prepared a chicken dinner on Sundays and hot dogs or hamburgers on white bread every Friday. On other days, they ate meatloaf, and Shannon told the Denver Post that he would always grub on possums, squirrels, and turtle meat. On some days, there was no food on the table. His mom would visit for big occasions. However, his dad had a drinking problem, and Shannon only saw him twice. The first time was when he was a young child, and the second time was when he was 13, when he went to view his dad in his casket. While in school, he was placed in remedial reading classes. In 3rd grade, he was sent to a speech therapist to help correct his lisp. They need to fire her ass. She didn't do her job. He found out early on that poking fun at other students would prevent kids from making fun of him, his speech impediment, and his tattered clothes. He said, "We didn't have sleepovers. We didn't want anybody to see how we lived. But if I could make people laugh, they wouldn't focus on what was wrong with me." After high school, he played college football at Savannah State. He graduated in 1989 with a degree in criminal justice and a minor in history. He entered the 1990 NFL draft and was selected by the Denver Broncos in the 7th round. He was known as the mouth of the Broncos because he couldn't keep his lips shut for nothing. He told CBS News, "They thought it was talking to garner attention, but I was talking to keep from hearing my grandmother's pain." By the start of his second season, Shannon was slanging his dang-a-lang all over the damn place. He told Sports Illustrated that
here we go. We know once these athletes, they get a little shine, they get in college, and the girls be sniffing up. I mean, hell, I've been in college before. I know how them athletes get down. I done had 1 or 2, they just start slanging it all over campus.
His 3 children by 3 women were all born in 1992.
What?
He said, "I was stupid, but I love my kids, 2 girls and a boy. I call them, I see them. I love to call them and see them more, but I hate talking to them."
Wait a minute. I thought Shannon had been married. Oh, Lord. Okay, misinformation. Let me go back.
Mother's pain. By the start of his second season, Shannon was slanging his dang-a-lang all over the damn place. He told Sports Illustrated that his 3 children by 3 women were all born in 1992. He said, "I was stupid, but I love my kids, 2 girls and a boy. I call them, I see them. I love to call them and see them more, but I hate talking to their mothers. Hate. My grandmother didn't raise me to hate anybody, but I really hate hearing their voices." Now, there's something to be said if you can't get along with at least one of them. If all 3 of them.
Yeah, if you hate all 3 of them, Shannon, then I think, when they say who's the common denominator, you're the common denominator, and you hate them.
Don't feel the same way about your ass, it might be you, Shannon. And I can imagine they hate hearing your lisp when you call. They didn't make them kids by themselves. Stop tripping. Shannon explained that if he were a regular Joe Schmo making $20,000 a year, he wouldn't have any children. However, he truly believed that his children's mothers plotted on him after seeing how kind he was and how close he was to his family.
They did. They ain't nobody just up and trying to have babies, but well, hell, I take that back, because it's a lot of women up in the hood that be having babies by this trifling mother duckers. So yeah, I don't know. I can't say that one, Shannon. They still probably would have had a baby by you.
Nobody told you to nut up in them, Shannon. You did that all by yourself. Your family wasn't in the room. Your grandmama wasn't in the room. Let's not play them games, Shannon Sharpe. As far as his relationship with his children, well, he admitted during an episode of his Nightcap podcast that he was a terrible parent. He said all he could think about was football, and the sport completely took over his life. As of this video, he has mended his relationship with his children. In that same interview with Sports Illustrated, Shannon said he grew up wanting to have a wife, a dog, 1.5 kids, and a house with a white picket fence. But he knew that it was something he would never experience due to his own actions. He said, "But it's my fault. I was reckless in my behavior with those women." He was extremely meticulous with his lifestyle and stuck to a strict schedule that included the same food every day except on Fridays. He didn't have a lot of friends and preferred spending time alone. He didn't know any of his neighbors, and he didn't want to get to know them either. He added that even if his friends...
I must say that there's a level of discipline, and the fact that he was able to drown out the noise that probably attributed to his success. I mean, and it takes a lot. It takes a certain type of personality. He's very regimented. Don't poop in my house. Don't spend the night. Just give me the ussy. And so, yeah, he
stopped by unannounced, he wouldn't bother opening the door because he hated surprises. He also said he changed his phone number once a month.
Yeah. Wow.
Is he okay? He sound nutty as hell. It's giving a little ticky boom boom. I can't relate to some of that. Don't come to my house unannounced. I'm talking about you just in the neighborhood. The devil is a lie. He's gonna be right there on.
Now that I'm hearing these little quirks he have, yeah, I could see him messing with non-black women, because some stuff we just ain't gonna put up with. Are you out your FMI? You think? Please.
He kept his clothes neatly organized and all facing the same direction on the clothes hangers. His pantry was perfectly organized as well. He told Sports Illustrated he even put everything in a special order in his bathroom, and one time a girlfriend shifted his bottles just an inch, and it drove him crazy. By the time of his 1999 Sports Illustrated interview, he wasn't interested in dating because he had a tough time loving women the same way he loved his mom, his grandma, and his sister. You might need to talk to somebody. With...
Ooh. That is right there. He had a tough time loving women the same way he loved his mama and his grandmama. Now, when you got issues, and I know he got an issue if his mama didn't raise him and she was raised by the granny. That's mommy issues. But so we got a possible issue with black women because your granny and your mama black. And then women, do you dislike women so you really like men? Like, it's a lot going on. I see some flags. We throwing some flags up here, y'all.
Where you on the sofa, lying down.
We gonna listen to that.
Crazy. By the time of his 1999 Sports Illustrated interview, he wasn't interested in dating because he had a tough time loving women the same way he loved his mom.
Who ain't interested in dating? I mean, you got to be old. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you kind of, until you get in them latter years, everybody interested in cupcaking with somebody. With the kind of money he got, he not interested in dating nobody. And most men, from what I don't know if it's true or not, but they say they, drive be a little bit higher than women. You would?
His grandma and his sister. You might need to talk to somebody. Where you on the sofa, lying down or sitting up, and somebody is on the other side of you with a pen and a piece of paper taking notes. whatever you want to call that. That's what you need to do. He admitted to being lonely at times, but he was never lonely enough to settle down and get married. He admitted to being selfish, and every time he got into a relationship, his woman tried to change him, and he didn't want to deal with it anymore. Many years later, during an episode of his podcast, he stated that he ruined so many relationships. He added, "Broke men will lie to impress a woman. A rich man will lie to test a woman. You'll not go broke chasing women, but you won't lose a woman chasing money, so I had to balance that out, right?" What? He's
Okay, that little brain twister done just went over my wig. So what? Okay, Shannon, whatever you say.
very strict with his women as well, and even broke up with a woman after she passed gas in front of him. Men like this do have an issue. Let me tell you why. Because men like this objectify women. They see women as these pretty.
I feel like these are the type of men who really like men, because we're human. Like, of course, it's like, ooh, no. But if a woman you broke up with her because she passed gas, he got some issues. And it's not just that one thing, but he's given us a litany of things that's kind of some screws loose.
Things that are not human. Like women don't pass gas or go number 2 or belch. And it's an issue. It's a problem because when they objectify women this way, they don't see us as humans or with intrinsic value other than our beauty. Like we're just toys to be played with and then put away. And that's an issue. That's a problem. Now, there's something also to be said for being ladylike. Now, if she raised her whole leg and just rolled over and let it out, that's different. He also said he would never use the restroom in front of a woman and would actually leave the house or send his woman to the store so he could blow up the bathroom in private. In June 2004, his ex-girlfriend, Erica Evans, went to his Atlanta home to pick up their son. She said that at some point, Shannon lifted her up and placed her outside his home against her will. She went to...
Well, and I'm just going to say this. If a man grew up where using the bathroom was in an outhouse outside of his home, he didn't have any in-house toilet, bathroom, maybe that's kind of something that's ingrained in him. I'm just going to have to attribute it to that. Because if you grew up until in his 20s, you had to go outside and shower outside or them hot water. That could be something that he just can't even help. Maybe it's ingrained in him. I don't know.
To the authorities 2 weeks later, and Shannon turned himself in and posted a $1,000 bond. The charges against him were later dropped after Erica and Shannon attended a few hours of mediation. ESPN reported that Erica was one of...
Okay, so there we go. He picking people up and tossing them out the house. That's a problem. That's a domestic violence situation. So now we're establishing a pattern. You've done this ish before. And I'm not saying to the extent that he's being sued, but all of this stuff will follow you. Okay, I'm going to rewind that just a little bit.
Her up and placed her outside his and would actually leave the house or send his woman to the store so he could blow up the bathroom in private. In June 2004, his ex-girlfriend, Erica Evans, went to his Atlanta home to pick up their son. She said that at some point, Shannon lifted her up and placed her outside his home against her will. She went to the authorities 2 weeks later, and Shannon turned himself in and posted a $1,000 bond. The charges against him were later dropped after Erica and Shannon attended a few hours of mediation.
So there were charges. They were dropped. They attended mediation. However, that would still be classified probably as a domestic situation. I'm not going to put the V word on it, but those kind of things can start to be behavior stacks and let us see what type of person you are.
ESPN reported that Erica was one of 3 women who had been in and out of Fulton County Civil Court with Shannon since March 1994. There were reportedly 10 court cases between Shannon and the women, including paternity and domestic matters.
Oh, here we go. So y'all right here. This man now this new lady, I don't believe she ain't got no $50 million worth of whatever with him. But now we see that Shannon might not be as sharp as he alleges to be on his Club Shay Shay show. He might got some loose edges that ain't very sharp, and he got some issues with women.
Shannon started dating a fitness and nutrition coach named Katie Kellner. By our calculations, their relationship began sometime around 2007. In September 2010, a woman named Michelle Bundy told the authorities that Shannon forced her to knock boots threatened her life, and was stalking her. Shannon denied the allegations. Nonetheless, he temporarily stepped down from his hosting duties on CBS's NFL Today show until the matter was resolved. Michelle was granted a temporary restraining order and later decided to drop it. TMZ contacted her, and she revealed she had been in an intimate relationship with Shannon since 2002. She went on to say she decided to drop the order of protection against him out of fear of retribution. She also
Now, this is the thing with these new ventures that he has. I feel like it's going to be a problem. It's going to be problematic because I didn't know this man has such a history of situations with women like this. But given to that, what just came out, and if we're able to go back and start bringing up stuff that they said that he did back in the 90s, hell, this is going to be a problem, I think. I don't know, because most of these businesses, they don't want to do business if you are not good for the brand. If you have a PR issue or they can't get advertisers and money, and the stuff that he's doing has to do with media, I don't know.
Also stated that she felt that she and her child's lives were in more danger with the restraining order in place. In April 2015, Shannon's beloved grandmother passed away. During a speech, he said he walked up to her casket to say his final goodbye. He asked her, "Are you proud, Granny? Are you proud of your baby? Because everything I've done in my life, I've tried to please you." He and Katie reportedly got engaged sometime around 2016. In 2017, an online personality by the name of Cynthia G took aim at Shannon and LeVar Ball for being praised for dating outside of their race, while Black female celebrities are shamed for having white partners. Although Cynthia didn't tag Shannon in the post, he decided to reply to her directly by writing, "Not that it's yours or anyone else's damn business who I date. I don't date for approval and don't need you or others to confirm who or what I am. Enjoy your day."
So this is where probably Monique got the word that he doesn't date Black women. But remember, when Monique was on his show, he vehemently denied that I got Black kids and all this. But it does sound like at this point he does have a preference for non-Black women, but that's his choice. No problem. That's what he likes.
Nobody even talking to your ass. My grandma used to say, "A hit dog, a holler every time." He and Katie moved to LA, and by 2017, their 10-year relationship was over. I'm sorry, but all I can think about is how he was with somebody for 10 years and never used the bathroom in front of them. What did they do when they traveled? Did he think Katie never pooted? Katie don't poop? Katie quickly moved on and married former baseball player Marlon Byrd. They welcomed a child, and Katie filed for divorce in March 2020.
Katie was about that bag. Yeah. Y'all always talking about Black women are gold diggers. Nah, these women be digging on your ass too.
As for Shannon, he decided to shoot his shot at Eddie Murphy's ex-wife, Nicole Murphy. They bumped into each other at a fitness class, but nothing romantic transpired from there. He stayed single for the next couple of years. During a December 2020 interview with Terrell Owens, Shannon said,
"I'm looking for someone to partner with, not someone to sponsor. I need you to bring something more to the picnic than your appetite."
In January 2023, Shannon showed his entire ass at a Los Angeles Lakers versus Memphis Grizzlies game after he got into it with NBA player Dylan Brooks. Later on, during an episode of Undisputed, Shannon apologized to the Lakers organization, Dylan, the fans, the Memphis Grizzlies, and his stylist Russell Hollywood Simpson, who was sitting next to him at the game.
"I also want to apologize to my stylist Hollywood. Bro, you had an impeccable record."
Okay, so Hollywood is the guy that everybody said that he was dating. It Hollywood was his stylist, and is a gay guy. And people were saying that he had a relationship with him. Now, y'all know Hollywood behind the scenes had came to Tasha K and kind of on the QT allegedly let her know that, yeah, he did kind of knock boots with Shannon Sharpe. After all of that drama came out about Hollywood, Shannon Sharpe let him go as his stylist. So that just, if it's not a problem, why you need to fire the man?
"Before you took me on as a client. And I want to apologize for my behavior because you were in attendance. And if I caused any smudge on your resume, I'm deeply sorry for that."
When Shannon mentioned Hollywood's name, everyone's ears perked up. Back in 2012, Hollywood worked as an assistant to Arizona Cardinals safety Kerry Rhodes. In 2013, someone leaked a picture of Hollywood and Carrie all booed up. Carrie denied he was gay, which ticked Hollywood off. From there, Hollywood granted Gossip website an exclusive interview where he gave all the details about how his relationship with Carrie went from being strictly business to blowing each other's backs out. We'll drop a link to Carrie's Gossip interview in our description box.
Yeah, that sounds messy.
So anyway,
So it's not far-fetched to believe that Shannon had a little bit of side action with Hollywood. I mean, hell, he looked like he tapped in everybody.
after Shannon publicly apologized to Hollywood for acting a plumb fool at the Lakers game, online users started to dig a bit deeper into their friendship. They started to notice that Hollywood was always around Shannon, and they were constantly keying at celebrity events. Now, is it possible that they had a business relationship and simply enjoyed each other's?
Now, let me say this, and do what you do. Do what you do. I mean, people say don't judge. We judge everything. None of our business, but we in it. If it's on the internet, we gonna talk about it. What stylist travels to every game and all of this? You know what I'm saying? And if maybe that's your homeboy, okay, fine. But very, very interesting. Okay, very interesting to me. No. It's a little bit deeper. Because is he your only client? Hell, if you a designer or a dresser person or whatever, you do whatever, it ain't somebody else you got to work for, because you always up under this man.
Company? Absolutely. But of course, online detectives began accusing Shannon of being a part of the LGBTQ community. In July 2023, online sources began speculating that Shannon and Hollywood had parted ways. Although we're unable to corroborate this information, we can confirm that the duo are no longer following each other on Instagram. And that brings us to September 2024, when Shannon live streamed an intimate act on Instagram Live. In the audio, you can hear Unc getting it in with his bedroom partner, whom he called Michelle.
That's my Michelle.
Initially, Shannon claimed he was hacked. However, during an episode of his Nightcap podcast with Ocho Cinco, he admitted he wasn't hacked, and he was just extremely embarrassed that his intimate moment was broadcast on the internet.
I'm embarrassed, someone that is extremely private.
He must not have been that embarrassed, though, because he's now selling merchandise to capitalize off of the moment.
Now, what the hell are them t-shirts gonna say? Or is it gonna be a picture of Shannon with a blue pill between his teeth? Because that's the only reason. We heard what we heard.
Many people think it was all a publicity stunt, especially since it's nearly impossible.
Yeah, I gotta feel like at the time, but now I don't know. Now that all of this other stuff is coming out about him, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a publicity stunt. Maybe that's how I get down. Yeah, but I remember when the rumors were coming out that he was, gay and bisexual and all that stuff. A lot of us thought that he did leak that just to kind of get rid of those rumors.
To accidentally go live on Instagram without pressing a series of buttons. Others think the stunt was a way for Shannon to put the gay rumors to bed once and for all. Either way, we're sure this won't be the last time Shannon's love life makes headlines. But until then, we're just gonna sit here, eat our snacks, and mind our business. If you enjoyed this video, let us know down below. And thanks for watching RRG.
She said we're gonna sit here, eat our snacks, and mind our business. No, we be minding everybody else's business. And I'm gonna end with this last little clip. Tasha K, on her site, she's doing a special or expose on Shannon Sharpe. I don't have it, so I didn't get to see it. But she had a little clip that somebody else did. And so I just want to show you guys. Apparently, he had a Freudian slip where he may have said that he was something about him and men, because remember the allegations. So let's just play Tasha K. Let me share her clip. It's just a little clip from her where he was exposed allegedly again.
They use with me grooming.
Okay, right here.
Up over there, hilarious ass show. And so he had an exclusive up saying that Shannon Sharpe, I guess, basically is exposed. And I was like, what's going on? So I called him at 1:30 in the morning. I was like, Star, you just ended your live. What do you have? And so basically he sent me a clip of Shannon Sharpe, I guess, accidentally speaking on something that's subconsciously embedded in his head. And we'll talk about,
we call that a Freudian slip.
This in a minute. He was talking in reference to Michelle Obama interviewing Tracy Ellis about her, I guess, excuse for dating younger men and why she prefers to date them over older men. Michelle Obama had co-signed, like, as if she knew. And I was like, well, what we talk about, Michelle? What is we talking about? Let's get into it, Michelle Obama. Okay? I read it between the lines, but I ain't gonna go in on the first lady like that, you know? Maybe she's just wishing for some younger dick. I don't know. But Shannon had ended up commenting on that story. And as he was commenting, right, you may forget some things, but you don't slip up and say things like this.
When Unc said he want to date younger men, they killed me. What they said, what the women, what? Yeah, well, I said I want to date younger women. What I said? Oh, when I want to date, when I want to date younger women, what they say, Ocho? Right. Oh, I'm a creep. Oh, I'm what they call that? What they call that when a man like I'm grooming. That's the term they use with me. Yeah. Grooming.
Okay, y'all. So it was a little Freudian slip. He said, when I try to date younger men, and so everybody's like, when you what? When you try to date younger men, because Hollywood was a younger man. Okay, peep game. But anyway, and so he kind of cleaned it up. Everybody was like, oh, Ocho, everybody it was kind of funny, but people caught it and saw it and stuff and said, yeah, you meant what you said. When you try to date younger men, they call it grooming, like when you was allegedly trying to date Hollywood. Anyway, y'all, thank you for joining me tonight. Please hit the like button on your way out. If you were here for a minute, if you and leave a comment. If you like it, didn't like it, just let me know. But I'll see you on the next video, and y'all have a great day at work tomorrow. Bye.